your state. But Charlie's had a good life. Oh, and Charlie's got a good wife. And after tonight, she'll no longer be counting the days. 18 wheels and a dozen roses, 10 more miles on his 4-day run, a few more songs from the all-night radio. Then he'll spend the rest of his life with the one that he loves. They'll buy a Winnebago, set out to find America, do a lot of catching up, or a little at a time, with pieces of the old dreams. There go a lot of no flame, doing what they please, leaving every other reason behind. 18 wheels and a dozen roses, 10 more miles on his 4-day run, a few more songs from the all-night radio. Then he'll spend the rest of his life with the one that he loves. Life with the one that he loves. A few more songs from the all-night radio. Then he'll spend the rest of his life with the one that he loves.
Hey everyone, it's Michelle Lee, and it's time to get real
on Real Talk.
Hey everyone, it's Michelle Lee.
Of course, Jason and I, all we had to do was get a bunch of young guys.
I just saw. Speaking of bucks,
I'm up for the best Southern gospel hair in a bluegrass category.
I made this suit for you and I buried it.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, we're all set to get real.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay. You got me in frame, right? Okay.
Yeah,
let's roll, Sammy.
I'm Michelle Lee, and it's time to get real here on Real Talk Bluegrass with Tina Adair. But first, I invite you to check out MichelleLeeOnAir.com for the latest in the Smoke Country Jam, Bluegrass Borderline, and Real Talk world. All right there on my official website, MichelleLeeOnAir.com.
There ain't no light on the bright side, and you know it just won't wait. You get by, and you're running down your face.
Hey everyone, it's Michelle Lee, and it's time to get real here on Real Talk Bluegrass with the 2020 IBMA Entertainer of the Year and two-time IBMA Vocal Group of the Year award winner from Sister Sadie. It's Tina Adair. Hey, Tina.
Hey, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing great. So great to have you back on Real Talk Bluegrass talking about a brand new album of yours, First solo album in 9 years, just simply titled Tina Adair.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a very exciting time. I know it's been a weird one last year for everyone, but yeah, it was since we had some downtime with Sister Sadie and everything, and I'd been talking to Adam Englehart at EMG, and we decided to do an album, and so that was the first one, like you said, in 9 years. So it was just time. I had the itch to do another solo album, and I just had a blast with this. So
now this album produced by Glenn Duncan, your first time working with Glenn.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I have been wanting to work with Glenn for quite some time now, and as a matter of fact, Glenn and I almost worked together about 12 years ago. We had started talking, but timing just didn't work out, and all of that, so it didn't happen. So fast forward to last year, and I love Glenn. I mean, and if folks out there that don't know Glenn, I mean, he's kind of a legend in bluegrass and in country. He's played with everybody, and from Bill Monroe to Earl Scruggs to Reba, all of these people. And, he is such a great, just soul and a great person, but he's also so encouraging. And he was so encouraging to me with this record, and brought a lot of great ideas and a lot of great songs. And I had a blast working with Glenn. I'm very thankful for him.
Now, this album, what is amazing about it is you kind of pulled the roots from country songs that have been produced and that out, like such as 18 Wheels and a Dozen Roses from Kathy Mattea.
Yeah.
And, of course, songs written by Hank Williams, which is your current single, I Can't Get You Off My Mind.
Yeah.
Was that influenced by Glenn to kind of go to some of those songs and that, as well as that Hal Ketchum tune, Past Point of Rescue?
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, some of them were. When we had a meeting, Adam and Glenn and I meeting about songs and all of that, we were going through songs. Adam and Glenn and I, we just sat in a big room listening to music, and I brought 18 Wheels and a Dozen Roses and Past the Point of Rescue. Those were two that I had been wanting to record for several years now, and just thought that they would make great bluegrass tunes. But Glenn brought this stuff like Can't Get You Off My Mind and Tell Me Why You've Been Gone So Long, and songs like that. So, and it was just, that was a fun, I love going through the song process, picking out material and all. You can tell, Michelle, that I cut my teeth on bluegrass because my mom and daddy had a bluegrass band before I was ever born. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I basically started singing on stage when I was 3 years old, but so definitely rooted in bluegrass, but also country. Cause, my parents had a music store. And so I was in that music store all day long and exposed to all types of bluegrass, country, gospel music and stuff. And so I also was raised on country music. You can tell I was an 80s and 90s child. So because that's the stuff, 18 Wheels and Past the Point of Rescue and stuff like that. So that those are just songs that I keep coming back to. And I've got a few more of those for the next record too. So I enjoy doing that,
And I love the fact that you even recorded Jamie O'Hara song on there as well. Yeah. And then, of course, you tag teamed with some Sister Sadie sisters.
Yeah.
And some of the songs that you wrote for the album.
Yeah. Well, to speak to the Jamie O'Hara song, that came from Adam. And so I have to give Adam Englehart credit for that. He brought that to the table, and that song had never been cut before, and I'm surprised because I love that. I love that song. It's a really sweet little song and encouraging type song. Really, to me, it's sad, but it's encouraging at the same time. But yeah, I've got two other songs. My last single, Won't Be Crying Over You, I co-wrote with my Sadie sister Gina Britt, and I had basically written the chorus and the melody, I believe, and she was at my house one weekend, and I said, man, I need to to do a couple of verses. Right? You want to help me? And she said, yeah. So we went out on the front porch, and I had an old envelope, something that a bill or something came in, and I took the envelope and a pencil outside, and we finished it up in about 30 minutes. So it didn't take that long to write, but that was a lot of fun. First time to ever collaborate with her on writing out of all these years. And then Let Each Other Go is a song that Deanie Richardson and I wrote late one night, traveling home from a show somewhere. Deanie and I travel a lot together on the road in terms of Sister Sadie shows, because at that time she and I were kind of the ones based out of Nashville. So we would ride together, and oh gosh, Michelle, it was like 2 or 2:30 in the morning. We was trying our best to stay awake, and we were talking about, we were just talking about some person that we knew and we ended up trying to set a couple of random lines, and we always look at each other and go, that needs to be a song, So we ended up putting that, and we pulled over at a gas station, and she was pumping gas, and I was getting my mandolin out of the case. So, and we wrote that song all the way home, but it kept us awake. We'll say that. So,
talking about your Sister Sadie sisters, Deanie and Gina, of course, you guys also welcome 2 new members officially to Sister Sadie with the departure of Daly and Bradley. Of course, Hazy, she's been part of the band for several years, but officially making her a member. And then, of course, being in the American Current exhibit at the Country Music Hall of Fame. How is that all like giving you a vibe coming off of all these amazing great wins in 2020?
I mean, it's really, I know that we use this term surreal all the time, but gosh, it really is. It's like, oh my gosh, these are just dreams come true, especially, getting to, having the Grammy nomination, that started it all off. And then having getting to debut on the Grand Ole Opry, and then fast forward to winning IBMA awards, and then winning the Entertainer of the Year last year. I mean, my gosh, I really, I love the Entertainer of the Year. So special to us because we see that as, that's our show. And I've always been very adamant about making sure that when people come out to see a Sister Sadie show, they have an experience, whatever. It's an event, and so they get to, I hope that for the 45 minutes, an hour, or whatever time that we're on stage, that whoever is out in the audience listening to us can escape whatever is, ailing them, or, just life, and enjoy and feel like they're a part of something, a part of us. And because I feed off that energy from the audience, as well as it, hopefully they feed off of that in return. So that's very important to me. I want to help, people laugh and smile, and, and that, to me, that's just as important as playing the music and singing as well. I think it all goes hand in hand for us, for Sister Sadie. So, but doing that, and then shortly after, getting the call about being in the American Currents exhibit in the Country Music Hall of Fame. I mean, and then, Peter Cooper was so sweet to us, and all of the staff over at the Country Music Hall of Fame, letting us come in one night just by ourselves and be in the Country Music Hall of Fame, come by ourselves and look at our exhibit when it was first done. And, such an emotional experience, because you see your instrument there, in the same room or building as the exhibits of your heroes, and you're like, you feel undeserving, but because it's like when you look at your stuff and then you go over and you see Mother Maybelle Carter's guitar or Earl Scruggs banjo or Bill Monroe's mandolin, or, another one of my heroes is, Reba. Her dresses and just stuff that, and lyrics. There's the original lyrics to a song that I wrote about my great grandfather, true story, on the Sister Sadie 2 album, J. Hugh, and the original lyrics are in there in the country, so. Deanie's mentioned this, but she's got a fiddle that was her, I believe, great grandfather's or maybe great great grandfather's. So just like J. Hugh lyric sheet and her great grandfather's fiddle and all, that's our family history too in there, so it's not only us, it's not only about us, it's about all the, I'm gonna get emotional talking about it. It's about all the generations before that, that invested something that's in you, that this is why you do what you do, or how you do what you do, so.
Right. And I mean, it's all the stuff that has inspired you to continue doing what your family started doing back before you were even born,
Absolutely. I have to go back and, give credit to my parents, my brother, like if they didn't invest all that time into me, my brother would invest so much time. He was 8 years older than I was. And he would invest so much time in, with me singing. And when I was little, just he would kneel down by the boombox, and help me learn songs and stuff, just stuff like that is, you can't, it's hard to put into words exactly the value and what that means to you. But okay, the best thing my brother ever taught me was to hit play and record at the same time on a cassette player. Okay. And, he would have like a mixtape or something, mixed cassette tape or whatever. And I would get those and he would get so mad at me. I mean, I was probably 7 at this time. Okay. But he was 15. He was 8 years older than I was. He'd have this like mixed cassette, tape or whatever. And about halfway through it, you'd hear, and then here I come on. Thank you. You're listening to WZZK 104.7. Like that was our radio station that we listened to down in Alabama. And the funny thing is it was like Tina's variety hour. Like I would read books. I read stuff like Grover Goes to School, and I would read all of that. And then I would sing, I would do the weather, and I would sing a song. And this is what's funny. I'd sing something like, I don't know, it would be something that would not be a Crystal Gale song, but I was singing it. And then afterwards I was like, that was Crystal Gale, everybody. Give her a round of applause.
Now, wait a minute. The key thing is when you were reading the story or doing the weather, did you change your voice a little bit to kind of mix it up?
Well, I think I did, but I wasn't thinking about it.
Because like when I was in all my school projects, which I still have on my cassettes, we had to be the news person, a weather person, a traffic person, and then us as on air. So I had to be 4 people. Let me tell you, that tape hopefully won't never be heard again, but I have it, and let alone my very first time being on radio, which was from midnight to 6, and my parents decided to take turns because I was 18. I mean, I started young.
Yeah.
So it was literally, they stayed up and recorded the whole show. Yeah.
That needs to be heard, though.
That is entertainment.
That needs to be heard. That is pure entertainment. When I got a video recorder, whatever I don't know what you call it, but it was one that you like set on your shoulder. You put the whole VCR tape in it, and you set it on your shoulder. Like that was the best thing since sliced bread to me, because I've always been a ham. And I'd sit that thing up in my bedroom. And I didn't have no help. Okay. I didn't have no help. I didn't have, it was just me. And so I'd set that thing up in my bedroom and sit it on like my dresser or something and hit record, go over there and hit like, Is There Life Out There from Reba? And I would lip sync and be doing a video. I was doing my own music video to Is There Life Out There? And it was, I didn't even think about the dress up part. I was very much so like, put my hair up in a ponytail, put some red lipstick on, and we're good to go. Okay. And so it was quite funny. It was pitiful, but it was funny. And then, I don't know. I just did that all the time. Oh, I tell you what else I did. Every night I wrote down the top 40 every night, like in a notebook. I've got a notebook somewhere where I would write that down. Like I was I was
And now you're in the top 10, at number 1 yourself. So you always continuously top 40 teenage.
Gotta have a vision. You gotta have a vision. You gotta know what you want,
Yep, exactly. Just like create a top 10, create a countdown. Okay, not a problem. I can do that.
See, that's right. Isn't that great? I mean, this is what you do. I mean, I don't know. I love to talk to little kids that dream about things like whatever it is, whether it's music or not. I mean, it's incredible to me. Because that's the way I grew up. I grew up and I was obsessed with music. I mean, absolutely obsessed with music and singing. I would just stay in our music room all the time, singing to little, 45s or LPs or, cassettes and all, just on and on and on. I mean, one of my relatives, it was an aunt of mine. She was worried about me. She told my mom, she's like, I'm worried about 10. And she's like, she just stays in that room all the time talking about or singing, just singing and singing. And my mom was like, she'll be all right. and then I either that or staying in front of the TV, watching music videos or whatever. So it was, I don't know. I lived a entertaining childhood. I think just because I kept myself entertained. So I didn't need a babysitter. I needed a tape player.
I've realized that the more and more I get to talk with you and Deanie, and that it's more like I'm getting to know the modern Minnie Pearl.
Yeah. That's a good, I'll take it.
So I can see Sister Sadie like being part of the modern hee-haw and being the host,
Yeah. We could probably do something like that. So we could probably pull something like that. We're gonna have a blast this year with. Well, Hazy's not new, but with Jaylee being new and stuff. Oh, I got a lot of stuff in my head. I've got a lot of things. And they don't even know about it. Like, I don't tell the girls what I'm going to say before I get on stage. They don't know either. So it's always a surprise to them. And I try to keep it that way because just for the humor factor. If they know what I'm going to say already, then it's not as funny to them. You know what I mean? So it'll, I'm excited about this year.
And you mentioned how your brother was a huge influence as well as your parents, but who inspired you to play the mandolin?
You know what? Because I started playing guitar first. Again, parents own a music store, so I could just I was very lucky in that I could just tell them, "Hey, I want a guitar," and they'd order. Now my mama ordered me a little cheap guitar, because never know, So, but I played that thing, Michelle. It was a little quarter-size guitar. It probably didn't cost $20, but it was a little quarter shot, and I played that thing. First song I ever learned on it was "I'm Crying My Heart Out Over You" by Ricky Skaggs. But but I started playing that when I was 5. I didn't start playing mandolin until I was about 14.
Wow.
And it was because by that point in time, we were old enough to sort of like join the family band per se, join my mom and dad's band. And my brother and I both. So he would play bass or my mom would play bass and he would play guitar or vice versa. And there was really only my dad played banjo. And so I either chose the fiddle or choose the mandolin. That was kind of the thing. And I chose the mandolin because this is a funny story, and I have shared this with her, so I don't care sharing it with you or whatever, or anybody else listening. But I didn't choose the fiddle because Alison Krauss was really popular at that time in bluegrass, and I was like, I don't know that I can live up to that, and I think people will be comparing, and I don't know that would be wise of me. So I was like, I've later told her, I'm like, you're the reason I never learned to play fiddle. Jokingly, obviously. Right. I love it, but so I picked up the mandolin, and my daddy bought me a mandolin, and we had what we call a music room in our house, where that's where you went to play music and had all the stereo equipment, records, and all that kind of stuff. And I started listening to. He gave me a mandolin and some Doyle Lawson albums, and I actually started listening to Doyle Lawson first with the mandolin, and then later ventured out and learned. Of course, the Bill Monroe and people, he's kind of he's the creator, you know what I mean? But as far for bluegrass, but for me personally, I started listening to Dole and then ventured on out into people such as, Adam Steffi and Chris Thiele and all these, great. There's so many great people to look up to playing the mandolin. So,
when you guys are getting ready to get back on the road, Sister Sadie,
yeah.
You guys are actually going to be at the Mohican Bluegrass Festival in September. I'm so excited. That's going to be a lot of great fun. You guys are
yes.
So I have a question from a fan who wanted to know when you guys are heading down the road. I know you and Deanie travel mostly together, and that now you have also Jay Lee Roberts, who's going to be coming from the same vicinity from Murfreesboro to Nashville to travel. So is there any type of music or a particular artist that you guys listen to on the way to the shows to get you pumped up?
Not anyone in particular, to be honest. It's a great question. A lot of times I'll get on, Deanie's got an awesome collection of music on her phone. Okay. And so, and we're all like, and Jay Lee's the same way with this. So she's going to fit in just fine. We're all like, we're old school country music fans, and even the like 80s, 90s country music and stuff. So, it's not uncommon for us to be jamming out to some Patti Loveless or Leanne Womack, that sort of thing, going down the road. Or, Keith Whitley, Randy Travis, those sorts of artists. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say, but most of the time we're thinking of something silly, or I am anyhow. I'm thinking of something silly or stupid to do, and trying to incorporate them into my play.
Which you have many times with Deanie going through the drive-throughs. What is the most funniest thing that you could share that you guys have done in a drive-through?
I can't. I can't share this one, but it is very funny. But I don't know about a drive-through, but I think one of the funniest things we've ever done going down the road was, when
Just do it, Tina.
Deanie was driving, and I was trying to play her fiddle and practice my dog titties, and doing it on a video, and. And she wanted her fiddle back, and she's driving, and I'm like, well, you can't, and she was like, yeah, I can play driving. So she took the fiddle and is playing the fiddle while I'm singing, and she's driving, which I know it's funny and it's dangerous too, I guess, but hey, she's skilled. But anyhow, so, and the funnier part, though, I guess what I'm getting at is watching the drivers pass us while she's playing the fiddle, going down the road driving at the wheel. But I'm really thinking back on that, Michelle. I'm really glad a cop didn't pass us, because we'd probably gotten pulled over.
I have to say, the people driving past you guys and noticing it probably were looking for like the movie cameras following you guys. Like, are we in a movie?
Yeah. I still say we need a reality show. Sister Sadie needs a reality show, especially traveling down the road. Because I'll get my fiddle out anywhere. At a gas station, I'll play at the gas pump. I'll go around to people like I'm strolling the gas pump area, with practicing my fiddle. So, I mean, just trying to work my way up to the IBMA ballot. That's what I do.
And speaking of playing the mandolin and getting ready for shows and getting on stage, another question from a listener and a fan of Sister Sadie's, as well as, of course, yours, because they hope that you're in that final 5 for female vocalist of the year this year. But I are there a couple songs that you truly, obviously you enjoy every song you guys play on your songs playlist,
Yeah.
but is there any particular ones that really stand out that you look forward to playing every night?
Well, and I actually talked about this on an interview the other night about the songs on my album, that my current album. We spent a lot of time, valuable time, trying to pick out great songs as well as we do with Sister Sadie. And it's very important, as I'm sure it is to every artist, or it should be, that there's not a song I put on a record or an album that if I played every night of my life, I would not enjoy doing. Or, there's songs that you get, like you hear artists sometimes, oh, I don't want to do, it's always, sometimes not always. It's sometimes you hear, I don't want to do that, or I don't, but I really feel strongly about everything that I record. And it's the same way for me with the songs that we do with Sister Sadie. So I love doing 900 Miles. I could do that, that song. I just,
Yeah.
And we do it actually a little bit different than the album now. Now that we've incorporated Hazy in with the bass on it and all that. So it's so much fun. I love doing that. I love doing, our trio songs, like Since I Laid My Burden Down, and just burning it up, and stuff like that. But there's not really any song that, and I'm being completely transparent and honest, there's not any song that I don't go, oh, I don't want to do this one tonight. I just don't, if I don't want to do it, we just won't put it on the set, I mean, so it's that, because listen, if you're doing a song on stage and you're just like, oh, I don't want to, I'm just going through the motion on this one, you shouldn't be doing it anyhow, because it's going to come through, and the fans are also going to know, but also the important thing to us with Sister Sadie is, we record everything, we can play it, on stage. Yeah. So it's like, because you never know when somebody's going to come up and request a song, and you don't want to go, oh, well, we don't know how to play that one. You know what I mean? So if a fan's requesting it, do it, so.
Well, I think that's very important, because you just never know, because you do get them shout out to you,
Yeah. Well, and I intend to, with these current singles and stuff, we'll learn them in Sister Sadie and be able to do them from, my current album and stuff. And as well as, we're going to, be incorporating some new music and stuff like that into our show for this year. So we're really excited about getting back out on the road.
So what is one of the craziest things a fan has said to you or the ladies of Sister Sadie out on the road?
One of the craziest things we've ever done is sign a guy's body. And watching Della and Bradley sign, because she's not shy, but you know what I mean. He was in Washington. We were at the Darrington Bluegrass Festival, and he just walks up to us and just pulls his shirt up, sign it. And you know me, that was like a blank canvas.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, give me 4 Sharpies, I don't know if I can say this without getting in trouble. I guess we're okay. But I drew a little heart around a certain area on his body, in this area. Sign. I was, and we got pictures of that. I should get you. I should get you a picture of that.
Do you guys know what he did? Did he get them tattooed? Did he go and have it tattooed then?
I don't know.
That would be an interesting thing to find out.
That would. I do know someone who has a Sister Sadie tattoo, though.
Oh, really?
Our name, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah. So, as far as crazy things, I don't know. It's hard to get crazier than we are. I mean, so there's not much you can ask us that we probably think's crazy.
Oh boy. So, yeah. Of course, you played numerous stages with your family band, with Sister Sadie. You've performed with many numerous artists throughout your career. I know I know the Opry is a special place for all of your hearts, yours especially, and playing
Yeah.
at Ryman, the mother church. But is there another festival stage or an auditorium that you always look forward to going to? I mean, obviously you love going out to the festivals, getting with your fans, but there's always sometimes you get that one stage that just brings it all home to you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. There's a couple for me. I I love the Delaware Valley Bluegrass Festival. That stage is really good, because that's kind of where, it was one of our very first festivals we ever did together, other than, from the station in and stuff. But I'll tell you a place I'd like to go back and play, and hopefully that'll happen in 2022 or something maybe. Was the Father's Day Festival out in California.
Yeah.
Um, oh my gosh, it was just amazing. When the weather was gorgeous, the place was gorgeous, and the people out there. I mean, it was like the second time we'd been to California, but that was the first time we'd been in that area.
Mhm.
And oh my gosh, it was just so much fun, and the stage was incredible, and the people out there just were so sweet, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I hope we get to go back out there, maybe in 2022. So,
Now,
but so that's festival wise, So, and we're looking forward to all of the shows we've got booked this year. I'm very excited, and I'll talk about this. We have never played in the state of Alabama before, and I'm from North Alabama, as you know, in a little town called Haleyville, which is about 30 miles or so south of Muscle Shoals. And so we've got a lot of friends in Muscle Shoals and a lot of music, heritage there. And we're going there August the 21st. We're getting to go down there. So we're booked at this theater called the Ritz Theater. So I'm super excited about that because that's near and dear to my heart, So I'm happy to be going to my home state. It's kind of like my old stomping ground. So I think it's long overdue for us to go down there and play because it's been a long time since I played in Alabama. So.
That's got to be an amazing feeling to play in your home state,
Yeah.
close to your hometown. And, when you think about all the places that you've traveled to and have a chance to play music, not a lot of people are aware. Artists are literally, in the town for that night or not even like the full day. Is there any places that you would love to go back to actually visit the town that you played?
Yeah, we played, without a doubt, we played in Darrington, Washington one year, and I didn't have enough time there. I mean, it was and I don't know if it was because the weather was so nice or I don't know, it's just everything was different to me, the landscape wise. I mean, the trees were different, everything in the weather was perfect. It was like you were sitting inside a room that was at 71 degrees. It was just like perfect, still, and which the locals did tell me, like, this is not, this is like, usually it's raining every day, so, but I could have moved out there. And normally when we go travel and stuff, I love seeing new places. I love that, but I'm always ready to get back home, to Nashville or whatever. But, up there, gosh, that was like, I came home and told my coworkers at Belmont, I was like, I think I found like another state I could potentially move to, at some point in time. So that it was just absolutely amazing. Just where it was located, it was just gorgeous. And so that, and but we actually we played Rocky Grass in 2017, and I actually got to spend an extra like day or two there. In Estes Park and right at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains and stuff. So that was the first time I'd ever been to Colorado. And it was very, breathtaking.
Right.
And literally breathtaking too, as I think about it, because I'm like, I had to acclimate to that. Yeah. So, yeah. But it was pretty awesome.
And of course, again, Sister Sadie going to be at the Mohican Bluegrass Festival, but they can check out Sister Sadie band.com for the complete schedule, as well as TinaAdair.net.
Uh-huh.
And you had mentioned, of course, we know you work with Belmont University there in Nashville, Tennessee. A question that came in was, have you had a chance, because I know you work closely with the students and getting them prepared for their next chapter of their life. Has there been any accomplishments of your students that you've seen, just kind of like wowed you in a way, in a direction, whether it's them being on the Opry or going to play a festival themselves or getting their songs cut?
Well, I serve as I'm the director of advising in the Curb College of Entertainment Music Business, which is the college that we teach about the music industry and songwriting and audio engineering and all of that stuff. And I've been there almost 20 years. So I've seen a lot of people come through, my office. I advise seniors.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of, making sure they can graduate and are taking the right courses and just future career plans and stuff like that, and I've seen so many of my former advisees, have success in terms of, working, management for artists or this, that, and the other. I've had, some of my students to work in tour management and all for large tours and that sort of thing. I will say this, the country duo or whatever, Florida Georgia Line, they came through Belmont and were my advisees. So, Brian and Tyler, and, Brian was a baseball player. I didn't even know, at that time, I didn't really know the passion that they had to try to go out and, even do this in terms of being, an artist or whatever. So, and, they've been, pretty successful, and had some advisees that were songwriters that have went on to win Grammys, and stuff. So I'm very proud of all of our students. They've, but again, Michelle, it's like anything. Like I tell all of my students, the best advice I can give them is to just show up. That's my advice to them. Be present, show up. You got to show up, and also you got to want your career more than anybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
You can, like nobody. I can't want their career for them more than they want it, because it'll never happen. You
Right.
got to have that hunger and desire, and you got to want it. You got to want it more than the next person in line, because there's always somebody else there ready to step in that spot.
Well, Tina, I always get a pleasure having a chance to get to talk with you. And
Me
I
too.
love this brand new album, just simply Tina Adair with EMG, your first solo project in 9 years. Have to say happy birthday. You just recently celebrated your birthday as well.
I did, and happy early birthday to you, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Adair. And, it's so great to see new things coming out of Tina's camp and Sister Sadie's camp. And I know we're looking forward to seeing you guys out on the road this summer. Again, Sister Sadie will be at Mohican Bluegrass Festival in Glenmount, Ohio.
Yeah, September the 18th. Yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun happening.
Yes. I'm excited. We'll get into something.
We definitely will. It's a beautiful place, and I'm looking forward to having you guys be there.
Yeah.
Gonna have a blast, but of course you have some more dates before that. Of course, Alabama, as you mentioned earlier. So just go to sistersadie.com or sistersadieband.com and or TinaAdair.net. And again, Grammy nominee, IBMA Entertainer of the Year, 2-time Vocal Group of the Year, Tina Adair. Always a great pleasure. Thank you so much for letting me get real with you here on Real Talk.
Thanks, Michelle, and it's good to see you again.
Likewise. So thanks to everybody, especially Miss Tina Adair, for being my special guest here as we got real here on Real Talk.